Good morning. I am Mrs. Benitez and I teach over at Arthur-Ann. I'm an Arthur-Ann Dragon and I'm going to be showing you how to make banana bread. In this bowl, I've put 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. There's also 1 teaspoon of baking soda and a half, that was my dog knocking the camera over, and a half a teaspoon of salt. So 1 1/4 cups flour, 1 teaspoon baking soda, and a half a teaspoon salt. What you want to make sure you do with this flour mixture, if you have a whisk, you want to whisk those ingredients together. If you do not have a whisk, you can just use a spoon. Mix this well, otherwise when you bite into the baked banana bread, you might get a mouthful of baking soda or salt and that tastes really disgusting. So you do not want that to happen. Let's mix. Whoops, just was some flying. I'll set that aside. You're going to use that in a little bit. In my bigger bowl, I've already peeled 3 bananas. The bananas that you use, you want them to be very ripe. The browner they are, the sweeter they are, the better they are for this. So I have my 3 bananas, and I'm going to use a potato masher, and I'm going to mash up my potatoes. This potato masher actually used to belong to my grandma. I'll show you a picture of her in a couple minutes. And after she had died, it was one of the things that I asked if I could have because it reminded me of her. This spoon was also her mixing spoon. I'm a little sentimental if you can't tell. So I just like using her cooking utensils because it just reminds me of being with her and how much fun we used to have in the kitchen when I was a little girl and we would cook with her. So I'm using my grandmom's potato masher, and you want to make sure that you really mash it as best as you can. Try to get as many of the lumps out of the bananas as you possibly can. Just makes it easier when you go to mix everything else later on. That looks pretty good. To my mashed bananas, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose sugar, just regular granulated sugar. I have 1/2 of a cup of vegetable oil, 1/2 of a cup of milk. I use coconut milk, so there's my 1/2 cup of coconut milk, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now I'm going to mix those together. You'll find when you're mixing this, the oil likes to separate from everything else. It's okay. It won't make a difference later on. You just incorporate it or mix it as best as you can. Oh, there goes Hagen. Or was that Nikita? Somebody must be out front because the dogs are starting to bark. Yep, I hear the noises out there too, Nikita. I'm going to make some dog treats's for them in a little bit. Can't say that word, otherwise they know what it means and they'll come running. And then I'll feel badly because I won't have their treats's ready for them yet. This looks pretty good. So I've mixed that up really good. Now I'm going to take my 1 1/4 cups all-purpose flour, teaspoon baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to Nikita, mix that in there. Oh, Nikita loves to sing out the window. Yep, I know, Nikita. Listen to her go. It's life at home, what can I tell you? Kitty girl. She loves to lay in that front window and look at the birds, the squirrels, the people, the trucks, the cars, anything she can. Want to make sure you give this a really good mix. Break up those pieces of flour that are in there. If you don't break them up, when you bake it afterwards, you'll get big clumps of flour bites, and that's gross. So make sure you mix it really good. All right. And now I think it's ready for my secret ingredient, You're gonna have to wait while I go get it. Stay there. Hi again. I brought my grandma over here. They're the cooking utensils I use. Isn't she cute? And I have my secret ingredient. I am a chocoholic. I like chocolate with a lot of things. I like chocolate chips in my banana bread. I have about 1¼ cups of chocolate chips. I don't usually measure my chocolate chips. I just add in however much I want. Not everybody likes things as chocolatey as I do. If you don't have to use as much, or if you don't have to put chocolate chips in here at all if you don't like chocolate chips. I'm going to mix them in, and again, make sure that you break up any pieces of flour that you see. That looks pretty good, and it smells delicious. I bake this in a glass Pyrex pan or dish, and I line it with parchment paper. I like parchment paper because I don't need to spray anything, nothing ever sticks to it. It's very, very easy to use. So I put my parchment paper right on top, and as I pour my batter in, it just flattens the parchment paper down, and then I can slide it up so it doesn't spill over the sides. One of my favorite things about this banana bread recipe is it does not contain raw eggs. So unless you're allergic to one of the other ingredients, you can eat the batter. You can lick the bowl, eat the batter. It tastes really, really good. Sometimes I leave myself a couple little chocolate chips in the bowl. It's a little treat when I lick the bowl. If you are going to lick the bowl, make sure you do it after you're done putting your ingredients in. You don't want your germs in there if you're going to be sharing this with other people. There we go. I already preheated my oven. If you have an adult with you, you need to make sure that the adult does the rest of this. If there's no adult home with you, you're going to have to stop and come back when there is an adult home. This does require cooking with an oven, so that has to have an adult. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees. I'm going to carry my banana bread over to my oven, and I will bake it for 50 minutes. Once I hit 50 minutes, I'm an adult. I open the door and I check it. I want it to be a nice golden brown color. If it's golden brown, then I'll take it out. If it's not, then I let it bake for another minute or two. I'm going to go put this in my oven. I'll be back. My banana bread is done cooking. It cooked for 50 minutes. Once I took it out of the oven, I let it sit for 30 minutes to cool off. And now I'm ready to eat my delicious banana bread. Look at all those chocolate chips. Yum. Thanks for watching. Bye.